The forbidden transmission DR. Sarah Chan never expected to change the course of human history during her quiet night shift at the Arecibo Deep Space Monitoring Station. The facility hummed with the constant whir of cooling systems and computer processors, while outside the Puerto Rican jungle whispered its ancient secrets. Sarah had been monitoring deep space communications for 8 years, searching for patterns in the cosmic noise that might indicate intelligent life. At 2:47 a.m., everything changed. The signal appeared on her screens like a digital thunderbolt. Unlike the random electromagnetic radiation that typically filled space, this transmission carried the unmistakable signature of intelligent design. Complex mathematical sequences, prime number patterns, and frequency modulations that spoke of advanced technology, far beyond anything humans had achieved. Sarah's hands trembled as she isolated the signal and began running it through the station's translation protocols. The message was being broadcast simultaneously in 17 different alien languages, each version perfectly synchronized with the others. Her translation software, developed over decades of theoretical xenolinguistics research, managed to decode portions of the transmission. The message was terrifyingly clear. Warning to all sentient species. The Crimson Nebula in sector designation Theta 7 remains under absolute quarantine. The Ancient Ones sleep within. Do not approach. Do not investigate. Do not wake them. This message repeats every solar cycle as agreed by the Galactic Council. Violation of quarantine will result in species extinction. Sarah immediately contacted her supervisor, Dr. Marcus Webb, who arrived at the facility within an hour despite the late-night call. Together, they verified the authenticity of the signal and confirmed that it was indeed being transmitted from multiple points across the galaxy. The coordination required for such a broadcast suggested a level of interstellar cooperation that humans had only dreamed about. Within 12 hours, the discovery reached the highest levels of government. The president assembled an emergency council, including NASA officials, military leaders, and the world's top scientists. The debate that followed would determine humanity's next step into the cosmic arena. General Patricia Hayes argued for caution. We're dealing with forces that have every major alien civilization scared enough to maintain a permanent quarantine. These aren't primitive species, warning us away from their territory. Based on the complexity of the signal, we're looking at civilizations that could obliterate Earth without breaking a sweat. But Dr. Elena Vasquez, head of NASA's Extraterrestrial Research Division, saw opportunity where others saw danger. This is exactly why we need to investigate. If there's something in that nebula that scares advanced alien civilizations, we need to understand what it is. Knowledge is humanity's greatest weapon, and ignorance will not protect us if this threat eventually spreads. The president made the decision that would define humanity's place in galactic affairs. Against the advice of most military leaders, and despite protests from allied nations, the United States would lead a mission to investigate the Crimson Nebula. Project Prometheus was born from humanity's most defining characteristic, the unstoppable. Urged to explore the unknown. Captain Michael Torres was selected to lead the mission. A veteran of deep space exploration with 15 years of experience piloting humanity's most advanced vessels, Torres had never encountered a challenge he couldn't overcome. His crew included Dr. Jennifer Park, a theoretical physicist specializing in exotic matter, Chief Engineer David Kumar, whose innovations had revolutionized spacecraft design, and Dr. Lisa Washington, a xenobiologist who had spent her career preparing for humanity's first contact with alien life. The spacecraft chosen for the mission was the U.S. Endeavour, humanity's most advanced deep space vessel. Equipped with experimental quantum drives, adaptive armor systems, and communication arrays designed to interface with alien technology, the Endeavour represented the pinnacle of human engineering and determination. As the crew prepared for departure, governments around the world worked frantically to upgrade Earth's defenses. If humanity's investigation of the Crimson Nebula awakened something terrible, they wanted to be ready. Secret manufacturing facilities across 6 continents began producing weapons based on theoretical physics, while early warning systems were installed throughout the solar system. The night before departure, Captain Torres stood in the observation deck of the lunar space station, looking out at the stars. Somewhere among those points of light was a nebula that had kept advanced alien civilizations awake at night for thousands of years. Tomorrow, he would lead 4 humans directly toward that cosmic nightmare. Dr. Park joined him at the viewing window. "Second thoughts, Captain?" Torres smiled grimly. "None whatsoever. Humanity didn't become the dominant species on Earth by running away from dangerous situations. Our ancestors walked out of Africa with nothing but stone tools and conquered a planet. Fear is not going to stop us from taking our place among the stars." The Endeavour launched from lunar orbit at dawn, Earth time. As the blue marble of humanity's homeworld disappeared behind them, the crew settled in for the 3-week journey to the Crimson Nebula. The ship's quantum drives bent space-time around them, propelling the vessel at speeds that would have been impossible just 50 years earlier. During the journey, Dr. Washington studied every piece of data they had collected about the mysterious signal. The aliens' warning mentioned ancient ones sleeping within the nebula, suggesting some form of dormant intelligence. The fact that multiple advanced civilizations had agreed to maintain a quarantine indicated that whatever was inside the nebula posed a threat to the entire galaxy. Chief Engineer Kumar spent his time modifying the ship's systems for unknown conditions. The Crimson Nebula showed unusual energy readings that could interfere with normal spacecraft operations. He redesigned the Endeavour's power systems to operate on backup fusion reactors if their main drives failed, and he created redundant communication systems that could function even if their primary arrays were damaged. Dr. Park focused on the theoretical physics of the nebula itself. Spectroscopic analysis showed that the cosmic cloud contained elements that shouldn't exist according to human understanding of chemistry. The nebula appeared to be folding space around itself, creating gravitational anomalies that could trap unwary spacecraft. As they approached the edge of the Crimson Nebula, the crew gathered on the bridge to witness their destination. The nebula stretched across space like a crimson wound in the universe. Wisps of red and orange gas swirled in patterns that seemed almost organic, as if the entire cosmic structure was breathing. Energy discharges crackled between the gas clouds, creating a light show that was both beautiful and terrifying. "Sensors are picking up massive gravitational distortions throughout the nebula," Dr. Park reported. "Whatever's inside, there is manipulating space-time on a scale I've never seen before." Captain Torres ordered the ship to stop at the nebula's outer edge. According to their instruments, they had just entered the quarantine zone that had kept alien civilizations away for millennia. The moment the Endeavour crossed that invisible boundary, everything changed. The ship's communication systems suddenly came alive with signals. Not random electromagnetic noise, but structured transmissions that seemed to be responding to their presence. Dr. Washington's xenobiological equipment detected massive life signs throughout the nebula, suggesting that whatever lived inside was not only alive, but aware of their arrival. Then the Ancient Ones began to wake up. The first sign was a shift in the nebula's color. The crimson gas began to pulse with deeper, more intense hues, as if a vast heart was beginning to beat after centuries of sleep. Energy discharges increased in frequency and intensity, creating patterns that looked suspiciously like neural activity on a cosmic scale. Torres made the decision that would echo through galactic history, despite every instinct telling him to retreat, despite the warnings of advanced alien civilizations, and despite the unknown dangers that lay ahead. He ordered the Endeavour to proceed deeper into the nebula. "All hands, "This is the captain," he announced over the ship's communication system. "We came here to find answers, not to turn back at the first sign of the unknown. Whatever's in this nebula has kept the entire galaxy in fear for thousands of years. Today, humanity shows the universe what we're made of." The Endeavor plunged into the crimson depths, its hull glowing from the exotic energies that surrounded them. Behind them, the last traces of normal space disappeared, swallowed by the cosmic anomaly that had become humanity's greatest test. Ahead lay creatures so ancient and powerful that entire alien civilizations had built their foreign policies around avoiding them. As the nebula closed around the human vessel, something vast and primordial began to stir in the depths of space. The Ancient Ones had slept for 10,000 years. But the arrival of these strange new visitors had triggered something in their collective consciousness. For the first time in millennia, they began to dream of worlds beyond their crimson prison. The quarantine that had held for countless generations was about to be tested by the one species in the galaxy that had never learned the meaning of impossible. Asterisk. When darkness meets light, the deeper the Endeavor traveled into the crimson nebula, the more apparent it became that they had entered something far beyond a normal cosmic phenomenon. The gas clouds around them moved with purpose, swirling in patterns that resembled neural networks on a galactic scale. Energy discharges cascaded between the crimson wisps like thoughts firing between synapses. And at the center of it all, something immense was awakening. Dr. Park's instruments detected gravitational anomalies that defied every law of physics she had studied. "Captain, space-time is being actively manipulated around us. Whatever's doing this has technology that makes our quantum drives look like steam engines." The ship suddenly lurched as an invisible force seized the Endeavor and began drawing it toward the nebula's core. Chief Engineer Kumar fought to maintain control, but their engines were powerless against the cosmic grip that held them. "We're being pulled in, Captain. All propulsion systems are at maximum, but we're still accelerating toward the center of the nebula." Captain Torres remained calm despite the impossible situation. "All hands, prepare for first contact. Whatever's bringing us in, it's intelligent, and it wants to meet us." As they were drawn deeper into the crimson depths, the crew began to see structures forming in the gas clouds around them. Vast geometric patterns materialized from the swirling mists, creating architecture that spanned hundreds of kilometers. These were not buildings in any sense humans could understand, but rather formations of energy and matter that existed on scales beyond imagination. Dr. Washington's biological sensors went wild as they detected life forms unlike anything in Earth's databases. "I'm reading energy signatures that suggest consciousness, but not biological consciousness as we understand it. Whatever lives in this nebula exists as patterns of pure energy, organized into structures that might be cities or might be individual beings." The source of the nebula's power revealed itself as they approached the core. Floating in the center of the cosmic cloud were beings of pure energy, each one the size of a small moon. Their forms shifted and flowed like living aurora, cycling through colors that had no names in human language. These were the Ancient Ones, the creatures that had terrified advanced alien civilizations into maintaining a quarantine for thousands of years. But as the Endeavor drew closer, something unexpected happened. Instead of the hostile reception the crew had prepared for, the Ancient Ones seemed curious about their visitors. Tendrils of energy reached out from the massive beings, gently probing the human vessel without causing damage. Dr. Washington made a discovery that changed everything. "Captain, I'm detecting something remarkable. These beings aren't malevolent. They single quotes lonely. My xenobiological equipment is picking up emotional resonances that suggest profound isolation and sadness." Through the ship's advanced communication systems, the crew began to understand the true nature of the Ancient Ones. These beings were not the galaxy-conquering monsters that alien civilizations feared, but rather refugees from a cosmic catastrophe that had occurred millions of years ago. They had once been part of a vast civilization that spanned multiple dimensions, beings of pure energy who had mastered the fundamental forces of the universe. But their advanced technology had attracted the attention of something even more dangerous. Entities from the space between dimensions that consumed energy and matter alike. The Ancient One's civilization had been devoured by these cosmic predators, leaving only a handful of survivors who had fled to this nebula and created a barrier to hide from their pursuers. The quarantine that alien civilizations had maintained was not to keep the Ancient Ones contained, but to hide their location from the interdimensional predators that still hunted them. Every spacecraft that entered the nebula risked broadcasting its location to the entities that had destroyed the Ancient One's civilization. But humanity's arrival changed everything. Dr. Park's analysis of the Ancient Ones' energy patterns revealed something extraordinary. Humans possessed a unique quantum signature that was invisible to the interdimensional predators, while every other known species in the galaxy broadcast their location like beacons to the cosmic hunters. Human consciousness operated on frequencies that the predators could not detect. Captain Torres realized the implications immediately. "You're saying that we're naturally invisible to these things that destroyed your civilization?" The Ancient Ones confirmed this through energy patterns that Dr. Washington translated into concepts human minds could grasp. Humanity's evolutionary path had been different from every other known species. While most alien civilizations had developed consciousness by expanding their quantum signatures, humans had evolved by condensing and focusing their mental energy. This created a natural stealth field that made them undetectable to interdimensional predators. The discovery led to an unprecedented alliance. The Ancient Ones proposed a partnership that would benefit both species. Humans could help relocate the Ancient Ones to safety, using their natural invisibility to transport the energy beings past the interdimensional predators. In return, the Ancient Ones would share their advanced technology and knowledge with humanity, helping Earth species become a major player in galactic affairs. Dr. Kumar worked with the Ancient Ones to modify the Endeavor systems for the Kung rescue mission. The energy beings could compress themselves into crystalline matrices that the human ship could carry, but the process required precise modifications to the vessel's power systems. The Ancient Ones' technology was so advanced that it required completely new approaches to engineering, but Kumar's innovative mind proved equal to the challenge. Over the next several days, the Endeavor underwent a transformation that turned it from an exploration vessel into something entirely new. Ancient One technology integrated seamlessly with human engineering, creating hybrid systems that were more powerful than anything either species could have built alone. The ship's quantum drives were enhanced with energy manipulation capabilities, while its communication systems were upgraded to interface with alien technologies across the galaxy. The rescue operation began with the systematic evacuation of the Ancient Ones from their nebula prison, each energy being compressed itself into a crystalline matrix the size of a basketball, containing consciousness and knowledge accumulated over millions of years. The Endeavor's cargo holds were modified to safely store these matrices, creating a mobile sanctuary for the last survivors of an ancient civilization. But the rescue mission faced a deadly complication. The interdimensional predators had detected the increased activity in the nebula and were closing in on the location. Dr. Park's sensors showed massive distortions in space-time approaching from multiple vectors as the cosmic hunters prepared to finish what they had started millions of years ago. Captain Torres made the decision that would cement humanity's reputation throughout the galaxy. Rather than flee with the Ancient Ones they had already rescued, he ordered the Endeavor to remain and help evacuate every survivor. "We don't leave anyone behind. That's not who we are as a species." The final evacuation became a desperate race against time. The interdimensional predators arrived as twisted distortions in reality itself, creatures that existed partially outside normal spacetime. Their presence caused the nebula to collapse, as the cosmic structure that had hidden the Ancient Ones for millennia finally failed. But humanity's natural invisibility to the predators proved decisive. The cosmic hunters could detect the Ancient One's energy signatures, but they remained completely unaware of the human vessel moving among their prey. The Endeavor darted through the collapsing nebula, collecting the last Ancient Ones even as reality warped and twisted around them. The escape from the nebula was a masterpiece of human determination and Ancient One technology. The hybrid systems created by the Alliance allowed the Endeavor to slit through dimensional barriers that would have trapped any normal spacecraft. They emerged from the collapsing nebula just as the interdimensional predators realized their prey had vanished. News of the successful rescue mission spread throughout the galaxy within weeks. Alien civilizations that had maintained the quarantine for thousands of years suddenly found themselves dealing with a new player on the galactic stage. Humanity had not only survived contact with the Ancient Ones, but had formed an alliance that changed the balance of power among the stars. The Ancient Ones established a new home in the outer regions of human space, far from the interdimensional predators, but close enough to share their knowledge with their rescuers. The technology exchange that followed revolutionized human science and engineering, advancing Earth's civilization by thousands of years in just decades. But perhaps more importantly, humanity had proven something to the galaxy that no amount of technology could duplicate. When every other species had chosen to maintain a safe distance from the unknown, humans had chosen to help. When faced with dangers that had terrorized advanced civilizations, humanity had responded with courage and compassion. Captain Torres and his crew returned to Earth as heroes, but their greatest achievement was not the technology they had gained or the alliance they had forged. They had shown the galaxy what humanity was capable of when faced with the impossible. They had demonstrated that humans would risk everything to help others, even being so alien that most species couldn't comprehend their existence. The Crimson Nebula was gone, collapsed into dimensional fragments that would never again threaten galactic peace. The Ancient Ones were safe, their knowledge and wisdom preserved for future generations. And humanity had taken its place among the stars, not as conquerors or supplicants, but as the species that had answered a call for help when everyone else had chosen to look away. The signal hadn't been meant for humans, but humanity had answered anyway. And in doing so, they had changed the galaxy forever. Years later, as human ships explored regions of space that had been forbidden to other species, as Earth's colonies spread to worlds that alien civilizations had deemed too dangerous to settle, one truth remained constant. Humanity's greatest strength was not their technology or their weapons, but their willingness to face the unknown with courage and extend a helping hand to those in need. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would humanity. The rescue of the Ancient Ones had marked the beginning of a new chapter in cosmic history, one where the newest species to reach the stars would become the guardians of the old. Asterisk.